Weasels! Your boy! I'm me!
Watch the breakdown.
You ever stare down the abyss into the shadows and look for the devil, and the devil looks back at you, and you look him right in the eye, and you say, "Listen here, you son of a bitch, you owe me $3.50, and you gonna pay up, or I'm about to whoop your ass from here to Mephisto's grotto, you son of a bitch." And he says, "I think I'm sending you back up," and you go, "Well, you better give me my $3.50 or there's gonna be some problems." Welcome to another edition of The Desk. I'm your host, JCS, the owner, founder, ruler, grand poop of OCW subsidiaries. This is discretion strongly advised. As you can clearly hear in my voice, I am a bit under the weather. I'm not going to bore you with the gory details of my afflictions and everything in between, but you may have noticed there's been a little bit of sporadicness regarding my work ethic and work product as of this moment. That being said, I've also been burning the candle at both ends. So if I'm a little bit touchy, a little bit in my fifis, feeling a type of sort of kind of way, that might be why. So yeah, basically it's been kind of a week, man, between prepping for Riot 500, getting it out the door, not anticipating doing a Thursday viewing party that was about 3 and change hours, and a gigantic show, which I will get to shortly, especially regarding the discussion of said show, which I will get to shortly. I just wanted to say for everybody who showed up on the Twitch, because there was a lot of y'all, thank you so much. For everybody who showed us love on Twitter and YouTube and all that good stuff, I want to say thank you. For our new subscribers, I want to say thank you. We appreciate you. See, the thing with OCW is a strange conundrum, a riddle wrapped in an enigma, covered in Laffy Taffy and thrown off a bridge. We have so much lore, we have so much history that you really wouldn't be able to see on the front end. And that's really my fault. But again, this is because it is only me at the very tippy top. Now, that's not to say, that's not to discredit my award-winning staff, and that's not to discredit people who are putting forth content. The problem is that throughout the years, I've always tried to delegate tasks that I wouldn't say are beneath me, but tasks that really wouldn't be part of my actual work flow, if you will. So what will happen is I would delegate to somebody. They would do the job for a week or two, and then it's all gone. Flaky or whatever, they just don't do it. So this cycle happened year after year after year after month after day after hour, yada yada yada. So in the end, I wound up being very sufficient on myself. And for the most part, what needs to be delegated usually gets delegated and is handled, by my staff. And for that, I appreciate them wholeheartedly, because without them, there would be no OCW. Because let's face it, I'm not running all this shit by my goddamn self. And if I did, I would go banana sandwiches, because I can't deal with you crazy son of a bitches all the time. So that I just want to get that out the way. So shout out to my staff. And that being said, there's little, conventions that had to be made. And one of them is kind of like the losing, if you will, of our lore. Like, it's there, but you gotta dig and find it. So I had a conversation earlier, which I'll get into shortly. I had a couple conversations this week. It's been a very interesting week so far, or rather last week. And one of the things that was being said is that, like, on the offset, if you look at OCW, you see, oh, this is cool. But you really don't see a lot of that history. That history is kind of carried from person to person in some aspects, and kind of, I do it as well. But it's really not easily accessible or available. So I want to make an effort, a conscious effort, to change that in the coming months, weeks, days, etc. It's not an easy process. It's not an overnight process. And the first phase of that is something involving the championships. And I've tasked somebody, I'll keep it on the private for now, with that, and we'll see what happens. Because everyone always goes, oh, you want to help OCW, want to help OCW. I bet. Here you go, do this. Why? And then nothing. So we're going to see what happens. Hopefully, if that gets done, we just one step closer. I have a grand plan before my shebang bang, and we'll just see if it can come to fruition. Because despite what you guys may think, I do always look forward to the future. And I always look forward in what I want to see with OCW. But I try to aim small. Like, I don't try to have these grand visions and sort of nonsense. I've been through that. And let's face it, there's just so much in my RL and everybody's RL. It's difficult to do what we do, but we do it, because we love it. And why do I sound like a goddamn boxing trainer? Anyway. So that being said, we're gonna try what we can try and see what we can do. A conversation I had that I thought would be relevant was someone was like, hey, when is can you look forward to Riot 1000? And I'm like, I don't even know if we're gonna make it to 1000. We can probably do 600, 650, 750, maybe 800, who knows, but 1000, I don't know. And then a little joke about Wrestlution 15, and I said 12 is coming up. But yeah, I'm not saying, oh yeah, we're closing the doors. I'm not in that mode. And even I say that to say this, and even with all the work I did the past couple of weeks or week or two, I honestly didn't meet my expectations. If I'm 100, and 20, if I'm keeping it a buck. Because the thing is, with me, I try to do what I can within reason. And in addition, I look around at everybody who kind of does what we do, and we really can't be compared because, and that's not to discredit other people who do, whatever they do, because I'm sure that it takes time and effort. But I honestly think, and I'm willing to put the time sheets against anybody else. We put in per minute, per hour, per week, more work and effort than anybody else. And I don't care if you're doing full-length videos and all the funny witchamajujits or whatever. You do that once a month, twice a month, once every 3 months, and it's a wonderful show. Congratulations. Good shout out to you. We do this every week, twice a week, 3 times a week sometimes, every week, non-stop. And if shout out to the motorcycle over there, revving that engine, baby. We put in that work. And it shows. So I want that to show to other people. I know that everyone has this, not saying y'all, but in general, everybody has this limited headspace. Everybody just rather, they rather see than read. I know that's a big problem today, especially with, the limited attention span. Everybody, myself included. I gotta read words. Why I gotta read words for? What do I look like? Some kind of a goddamn nerd? Bro, words. I can't. I'm gonna have to lie down, bro. But it is what it is. I had a couple ideas regarding that, and we'll see what happens. But to wrap it up, I just want to say that OCW is not infinite. The conversation was, hey, who are you gonna groom to take over? There is nobody that I trust to take over. And that's not to discredit anyone on staff, because again, I wouldn't want to do that to my staff. Do you think I want staff to go through what I go through on a daily basis? Hell no. Some of them are a little frazzled as it is, just doing what they gotta do. So put that on them? Nah. There is no one who has the tenacity, the desire, the flat out love, the determination, the steel resolve, and the grit, I'd even say, and then I guess the impartiality of it. Because while I don't, hug while I don't give you hugs or pat your tushy or tell you you're a good little engine and all that good stuff, I don't kiss your ass. I do keep it 150 with everybody, or 100 if you will, with everybody to the best of my ability. And while I can't track all y'all down and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what do you, at the end of the day, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn and be like, oh, hey, look, it's the kiss my ass brigade. No, I'm just trying to say that I don't honestly think there's nobody on this on this goddamn planet who can do what I do to the extent of this. And that sounds a little braggadocious or maybe even arrogant, but I stick by that for the simple fact that I have that pedigree, and y'all in turn have that pedigree with me, where I know where you stand and what the work you put forward. So I'm not saying that to be all doom and gloomy. I'm just saying that, you know, there is an exit strategy. It's nowhere now. But you know, you never know, because on that token, what's to say, you know, the finances don't turn around and you know, the good stuff happens, or who's to say I don't come into a large sum of money, or, you know, eager staff. I keep saying, you know, but nothing is set in stone, and I don't want people to think that I'm you know, packing my bags. I'm not. I got, to quote Mark Henry, and as Dimsmore saw, which we'll talk about later, I still got a lot left in the tank. You could believe that shit. So anyway, we got a lot, man. We got Riot 500. We got Turmoil, Turmoil 199. We got Turmoil 200. We got Wrestlution. We got a lot. We also got some stuff for rookies as well. And we got YouTube. And I don't remember if I said it or not, but if I didn't, I want to thank all the, you know, the new YouTube subscribers. We appreciate that. I want to thank all the guys on Twitch that showed up on a goddamn Thursday. I appreciate that as well. I'm not really good at showing gratitude or receiving gratitude, but I'm working on it. Just like I'm not good with social media at all. Terrible at it. I need a social media operator. I need someone who does social media, and I need, you know, someone who does other things of that nature. So anyway, I was going to do a podcast on Friday, but, you know, again, I've been burning the candle at both ends, because see, the thing is, I feel like whenever someone on my staff is getting a little run ragged, I'll hot tag myself in, just for the simple fact that I know how it is, and I'd rather someone gets that rest and that recharge than to, you know, half-ass it, because I myself I have done it in the past. Like I was looking through the archives of OCW, like in certain eras and stuff, and I can see like I can remember when there's been times when it's like a riot will have like the month of March, and there'll be like one riot or two riots, and you know, back in like, you know, 2012, 10, shit like that. You know, there's all kinds of upswings, like when I was running the MMA site in 2009 rather. There's all kinds of stuff. So I know what it looks like to just be doing it to do it and not to be invested. So while I am ragged on both ends, and while I may delay a show by a day or a couple hours or whatever, while I may tag myself in to give a GM a break, and while I may volunteer myself to do Turmoil 200 because I'm doing it, it's because I still enjoy what I do. And you can believe when I don't enjoy what I do, I will let you know about it. So that's kind of a testament to you all. Whether you're writing or not, or whether you know, as long as you're here and you're doing something, that gives me the motivation to continue. To see you guys doing what it is you do, and you might not hit the mark all the time. Definitely, some of you don't hit the mark at all, but that's not to say that it doesn't give me that, I guess, I don't want to say inspiration, but that, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, it gives me a vibe. I'm like, you know what? This is good. Like when I looked at 500, you know what, before that, let me read what I wrote, because I wrote a whole bunch of stuff on Friday and at work, and I didn't get to talk about it. So let me just read off what I wrote and see if it makes any sense. If it doesn't, who knows? You know, sometimes I feel like a racehorse being pulled and not being able to meet expectations that I set for myself. I constantly get stuck on details, and like as of right now, I'm writing this to keep thoughts fresh. So what I mean to say that is, with 500, there was a video planned, and I got so marred in the minutia of the video that it started to affect my timeline. Do I do a slideshow photo? Do I pull up, you know, old moments from Riot and stuff like that? And what moments do we pull up? Because it's 13 years of Riot. what's a good moment? What isn't a good moment? What can be salvaged in the video? Because remember, our videos used to be like 340 by 480 and WMV files and shit like that, and FLV files. What's a good memory? What isn't a good memory? Who's gonna remember this shit? Nate might remember it. I might. RD might. But Ambitionary's not gonna remember shit. And what about the Ambitionary stuff? The one from the OCW Current's gonna remember that stuff. It's all these different questions that I'll ask about, and people just say, "Oh, I'm sure you'll do it. I'm sure you got it." Or that doesn't really help me, because I the way my brain is wired, this is the kind of shit that prevents me from doing what I need to do, because I just get so marred in all these details. For example, just the basic video alone, the basic video I was working on was already clocking in at like 2 minutes, and there had been no in-ring action, and that was only Riot from 2005. What can be salvaged, and when I mean salvage, I mean it's all available, but it looks like shit. So when you try to upscale it, it looks like shit. From 2005 up until maybe 2007, and then you got the 2008 era with all that's going down there. Excuse me. There's all kinds of moments that just trying to qualify and quantify them. There's just too many. So which do you choose? Do you choose me cracking Nate or becoming champion, or the Leon Hart run in 2009 where he beat Guy Foster, or the Foster the Cage feud, the Nate versus feud back in the day, Sideshow decline of his rampage? Do we go with Steven Johansson and Danny Titty Williams and shit? What, the Kareem saga with Lochi? Do we go 2008 with Smythe and his shit, the SWO, RD's historic one? Do we go with the Ambition era with Parker versus Masuda, the shit with the car off the pier? Do we go with the Spider Wars? Do we go with Dupree and the Dinsmore saga? Do we go with Dupree beating Aries on that random ride to become champion? Do we go with the fucking Pew hardcore run of almost a year and change, actually a year and plus? Do we go with Spoon's 187-year run? Do we go with Vegas saga, Majin saga, Nick Cage's saga? Do we go with the Europeans back in the day? Do we go with Cody Storm and the dearth of the Thirst era quencher and shit like that, when everyone was going crazy with that? Do we go with when Drago's Inception, Tyro Craven, the Lotus Angle, one version 1 or 2, OMG Wars? There's just so far, even forward now, the fucking Super Trash and Cassidy, and there's just so much is what I'm trying to say. There's just so fucking much to quantify. So that fucked me up, and that helped delay Riot. It didn't help that Riot was ginormous, but that's one thing. What else did I put? Words cannot express how thankful I am to you guys. And while yes, this has been a chore, especially on the weekdays, I am far and away beyond pleased with the end result. To have such an amazing turnout on a Thursday evening for a not known viewing party is unheard of. It only further motivates me to work to want to take things to the next level, only to be mired by the details of it all. Story of my life. I'm actually have show notes. Wow. Fuck it, might as well. Well, maybe we'll work backwards or whatever. The main event was, without a shadow of a doubt, if not one of the best matches I've ever seen or had the privilege and pleasure to watch, period. That's a lot of P's. Pause. And it really hurts me, and it really hurts in a way all the more. Guys like Nate and Dupree are in their twilight. And if you're not aware, Dupree cannot stand the game in any capacity. Honestly, most of the old school high-ranking bodies of Riot do not like the game, despite being wonderful storytellers. So each time I drag them out to perform, they are there to do a job and steal the show. But it does leave a bit of a vacuum, which I hope Turmoil can help fill as needed. Basically, what does that mean? That means that, as I said it, the Xbox guys, they're good at what they do, but Riot is mostly filled with a lot of old dudes, and then on the bottom end, you have a bunch of rookies. So it's this weird little vacuum. And shout out to Cassidy for taking the ball and not only running with it, but just knocking everybody the fuck down with said ball. I remember the discussion before was, I don't even know if Cass will be a good champion, but he's exceeded expectations, and he's doing it his way, and I really can't find any fault in it. When I was once, what the fuck I'm looking for, I wasn't confident in his ability. I'm more than confident to see see what he has, up his sleeve. And I know it's sometimes a little darkest before the dawn, but so far this has been one of the most entertaining runs in OCW, period. It's a testament to Cassidy and his work ethic, despite, some situations he has no control over. I've been thoroughly entertained, so I want to give him a shout out for that. Where else? And I know I'm kind of jumping around here. I'm sorry about that. It's just that this is catching up with a weekend's worth of garbage, so it's a little crazy. So, excuse me, trying to think out loud and gather my thoughts, if you will. So I apologize in advance for that. But yeah, man, it's a lot of work, and thank you. So let's cut this shit. And I took these notes, but these notes are a little, they're kind of all over the place. So I'll try to focus. And as I said with Cassidy, moving into Riot 500, y'all need a little bit more discussion on 500. For the amount of work that was done for 500, I need a little bit more from you guys. I really do. Because, markouts are great. It's fantastic. But I need a little bit more. Like I said, this is what kind of sustains me, and this is what kind of I feed off of. And y'all still got time. And I know it's a gigantic show. I know this is a big motherfucker. I know that. So pick and choose. Like, I'll be honest, a little disappointed to get to see more Jest, but he has some RL stuff, so you gotta deal with that. It is what it is. But there's just so much on this. This show is the funny thing is I had a conversation, I think, with the pantless naked man B17, that he's like, this is probably the best show we've had in a long time from everybody, not just Riot, not just Turmoil, but everybody. And I honestly think that this might be better than Lucian. I don't know. We got to see what happens with Lucian. Lucian's gonna have some big shoots to fill, and that's good. That's a good fucking thing. Like, I take it back to when I was talking about, the other people who do whatever the hell they do. I take this show and put that up against whatever the fuck they do, and it knocks it out the park. But there's words. I don't want to read words. I want someone to talk about what they're doing. Like B2O arrives and B2O and Dinsmore and H2O doing all what they gotta do, shit like that. But from a storytelling perspective, from a role play perspective, from a perspective of somebody who can appreciate storytelling, out of the fucking park. And if you want to disagree, great, fight me. Because, I honestly, if people saw this, they would understand what I'm talking about, why I feel the way I feel. Because some of y'all do, some of y'all don't. I know some of y'all don't even read shit, but it is what it is. But it's just a testament to the work ethic that you guys put forward. And that being said, shout out to H2O. Like, I'll be honest, I didn't think you need to be in every other segment. You might be a little bit, a little overdoing it, but I appreciate it. The problem is that when you do that, you get in the habit of doing that. So when you don't do that, people are like, oh, what happened? Dupree used to be just the same way. Dupree used to go ham and sandwiches and do like 5 a show. So that when, which is great. But then the one day where he's out sick or he's away or he's just not feeling it that week, what happened? What's going on? Did he hurt his toe? So again, reserve and try not to kill yourself. But I appreciate it. I'm not gonna cover all aspects of the show because that would be like a 4-hour podcast, and I'm not going through all that rigmarole. But I will try to get through this as best as I can. And also shout out to Cap for pretty much just knocking out the park, trying to get in contact with everybody and do all kinds of collaboration. And that's kind of what it's about. As someone mentioned with the Turmoil 199, when you see the collaboration, it makes it feel more alive, and it makes it feel more immersive, and it makes it feel like it's all interconnected, as opposed to a bunch of, separate short stories just tacked onto each other. When there's some form of symmetry and unity, it gives it more of a vibrant feeling from a reader's perspective. And I know that sounds very Reader's Digest-y, but suck my dick. All right, so Cassidy and Austin Lee. I don't know what to say about this match other than it's champion versus champion. Right one, tee. No, but all joking aside, I don't know if Austin came into it super serious, which is fine. Like, I don't care. Like, you gotta come to fight. I don't think he gave it. I don't think he gave it 110%. I think he gave it 100, and you really can't when it comes to Cass. But either way, the best part is everyone still looks okay because Cass uses. He said he called it. I forgot what Austin called it, but I guess Cass went to do a discount cutter, but didn't. I guess hit the wrong button, so he did that, and it was kind of like a pin move, and it worked out good for all parties involved. I don't think anybody's worse for wear from that match, and that's kind of what you want to go for when it comes to things of that nature. And again with Cass, literally on the show, starting fights with everyone, like everyone. I don't know why, but it just made me giggle. Basically, just doesn't matter if you're Turmoil, doesn't matter if you're Riot, doesn't matter if you're Drago, B17, Mute, everybody. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. I'm the champ. You ain't shit. I love it, Maggle. I love it so much. All right, what we got next? We got Roscoe versus G2 Quartz. Shout out to the Cobra commander of the catfishing community. That's a lot of C's. Have a drink of water for that one. Shout out to that. I kind of wish I saw a little bit more on the written end from Russ Cole, but I'm aware there is a language issue, and I'm aware he is doing some things RL. This match was actually entertaining for the simple fact that while it was a little bit longer than anticipated, it's clocking at 17 minutes and 54 seconds, it actually told a pretty good story, and it took two, I don't know what the hell they calls it, but I call it the Cobra driver. It took two of those to take Rust out in a pretty even competitive matchup. So there really is nothing more to say other than a job well done to both rookies from Riot, and I appreciate y'all. Now KD basically having his whole little, wow. I still got a bit left in the tank on KD's end, and I'll get to the KD in a second. But we have Flake Tyler versus Heather Angelo. This match ran a little too long, a bit. Didn't hate it, but I'm aware of what happened with the first match, which, spoiler alert, was not the outcome of the actual previous match. Basically, an F.P.R. break from, I guess, recovering from a loss, which is nothing. Don't do that. If you're losing badly, don't break F.P.R. for a redo. It's not a good look. It's not even cute. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but I'm going to say it's intentional because, flakage. So, match wasn't bad. A little long for my taking, and it is what it is. Kind of a waste of time on Heather's part, which sucks, but, what are you going to do? At the very least, the match was serviceable, so, good for that. Which is weird, because even the match that I didn't like the most, which would be that match, was still pretty good. Okay, where we at now? We got, the haircut, which is kind of fucked up. I didn't like that. I mean, it was sad. The Dad 2 H2O speech. I'm not going to go through every role play, but I just found this one to be kind of cool with Dad dropping knowledge. Reminds me of my dad almost, kind of like telling you, like, you ain't shit. Get your shit together. Now we have what's called the blackest match in OCW history. That's not what I call it. That's what other people have called it. And by other people, I mean the booker. So, here are my notes for this. The blackest match ever. I thoroughly enjoyed I thoroughly enjoyed this match from top to bottom, even though I could see some of the frustration with targeting. What cooks my grits is a guy like KD was initially upset with this match and assumed that I booked it as the match as some kind of joke because, lol, black people. How about that? The funny thing is, booked it as kind of a joke against the black handlers of OCW. Honestly, I think deep down, Katie doesn't like me as a person and considered me a bit of a racist. While that's the running joke due to things like Sean and whatever, it still kind of stings. It still kind of stings, but such is life. So, from what I gather is, KD, I guess, was upset in some capacity, but I didn't book the match. And he knows that. But even if I did book the match, I don't really see an issue because at the end of the day, 6 people who all have angles have something going. I will say this though. This is the part about OCW that I like because we got flavor in OCW. we're diverse as fuck. It's not a bunch of just weird, introverted white wrestling nerds. And mind you, I'm introverted, but reading my notes. The best thing about OCW is that we're also diverse. It's not a bunch of weird white wrestling nerds with no social skills. It's that diverse group of people from all walks of life. And it just has a little extra seasoning, a bit of mad flavor, if you will. I don't know if it's a New York thing or whatever, but the energy feels infectious in a way. I like it because I've seen other communities of this type, and it's very Karen potato salad. It's an SNL joke, if you will, in the sense that I don't know how to explain it. It just feels like this weird sterilizedness. We don't have that here. And that's partly because OCW is diverse as fuck. Like, a lot. I'm not even going to break down the racial denominations because honestly, I don't know. But I just know there's a fuckload of black handlers, so shout out to y'all. There's a fuckload of Scottish handlers. Fuck y'all. Especially Rex. He stinks. Literally. We got Aussies. We got, Scotsmen. We got people from England. We have like a Jersey contingent, as a matter of fact. I think I'm the only fool in New York, but it is what it is. Actually, no. In New York City, we got folks in upstate New York. Shout out to y'all. We got Cali. We got Europe, New Zealand, Australia, Scotland. I said that in England. Wherever else. I don't know. British Columbia. Shout out to you with your fucking really terrible internet. Who else? I don't know. A lot of people. But back to the blackest match in OCW, the Riot match. You would not know by looking at this match that all the handlers are black because essentially it's just a goddamn, Sean shows up with the I ain't washed my hair in a minute afro and a beard and the Jordans and the tape. Tobin, did Tobin have tape? I don't remember. I think he did. Mez right out of C Block. I mean, the only one who looked normal, actually no, Tobin did. Actually Tobin got blood color, so nah. The only one who looked normal was KD, who, by the way, looked like a star. Real Jack, baby. So, but yeah, I appreciate this match. This match was really, really a fun watch, man. And although I could see the problem with the targeting, and I could see the end where, Sean and KD both hit finishes at the same time, and Sean's trying to pin, but he's like, I don't care. Like, I hear Sean's voice in my head for shit like that. Like, I'm sure everyone was like, Sean, go for it. He's like, I don't care. Because that's just how Sean is. I will say it's the Cole Jackman Tay Terra role play. It was kind of weird to me, or actually Diamond High and everybody, or Diamond. Is it Diamond High or Diamond Wood? I don't know. I was calling Diamond High and now it's like Diamond Wood. I don't fucking know. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I apologize. I mean, I didn't hate it, but it just kind of weird. Actually, not weird. I'm sorry. This is the wrong role play. I'm confusing to the role play later on. Actually, this one's kind of cool with a little catchphrase in the building of Capo and Jess as a team, which I think would actually be really entertaining. Not sure how it's going to work with the time zone differences, but yeah. And then we have the Court Martial Steve match. I really enjoyed this because I honestly thought that both competitors are on equal footing, and actually they're not. We learned this during the viewing party as Court defended himself or something. I mean, he didn't have to, but it kind of makes sense that he did because sometimes we do get a little voracious. To our credit, we kind of chilled a bit, especially after we got rid of the AIDS, so that's good. I will say that the secondary match is actually entertaining. There's a couple little discrepancies, and I will shout out to Steve for just looking old as fuck. That is a returning wrestler if I ever seen it. I'm gonna put some dye in the beard, drink my chocolate milk, and put on a goddamn show. All I wanted to see was Welcome to Rochester, motherfucker, and I saw it twice. So that's all I really cared about, and I'm happy for it. I dug the match. I know what happened, why it happened, what happened. Didn't hate it. I don't have a rating for it, but didn't hate it. So I'll just leave it at that. Take that if you will. If you want to be butthurt about that, cry about it. Let's see. I'm not gonna talk about the Cobra role play, but yeah, it is kind of hilarious. Telos with his stuff. I appreciate Telos for the simple fact that he came out and did a video on the pay-per-view. That's kind of big in my book, so shout out to you. And it's a little different, tiny bit, but the whole destruction and blah, 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 we've seen a whole bunch. So good luck with that. Now, let me get to my match. Valkyrie chilling in the locker room. I remember that. Valkyrie and Pastor Pete. Fucking Pastor Pete. All right. Fucking my match with Dimsmore. Okay. I actually have a lot of stuff to talk about that match. First and foremost, fuck all of y'all. I didn't want to do this match, and y'all all made fun of me, and you all were like, go ahead, do it, you scared, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, I just want to say from my perspective, thank you for Dimsmore for being such a good sport. So here's a little backdrop. I have not played this game in about, I don't know, maybe 3-4 months. Not sure how long Dimsmore hasn't played, but I will say this. He contacts me a couple days prior and says we can do it, Thursday at like 10 o'clock or Saturday at 10 o'clock in the evening or 10:30. I'm like, okay, we'll do Saturday. My life has no meaning. I can be there for Saturday. Just because I don't want to do it at the last minute. So it's Saturday in the morning, and I get about about a half an hour before I get maybe I don't know 11:30 or 11. Hey, I can go in a half an hour if you're up for it. Sure, fuck it, why not? So I spent that half an hour and just tweak my tire a little bit, made sure my stuff wasn't broken. Don't want to get cassaded. And I was like, I guess we can just go. And Dimsmore tells me, yeah, I was practicing with H2O. You were practicing? I didn't even get a practice. He was practicing with H2O using my car, and H2O was struggling using my car because my Gundam needs a special pilot, you son of a bitch. So, let me give you an example of my match with Dimsmore. I tell Dimsmore, Dims, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. It's been a long time. So do me a favor. If you see something out of the ordinary, please let me know. Because I'm a child and I need help. Sure, no problem. The match with Dimsmore was essentially for about 12 minutes me screaming at the top of my lungs, is this okay? Is this okay? So I would say, can I do this? And he would say, yes, you can. And then he would reverse it because I told him what I was going to do. Because I didn't, I wanted to make sure I wasn't breaking any F.P.R. rules. So then I would say, can I do this? And he would say, no. So I wouldn't do it. And then he would hit me again. I just want to say that I will never, ever, in my life comment about y'all's matches when it comes down to strategy and shit, because I don't know what the fuck I was doing that match. I literally wasted reversals. Like I was halfway through and I'm just used to the old game that I would just waste 2 reversals because like, hey, you should wait 2 seconds. Nah, fuck it. And there goes 2 reversals. I got a reversal and I thought it was a major. So I picked him up to start going combo crazy. And then he hits me and I'm like, but I have a major. Why is this game broken? It wasn't a major. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm a savant and I kicked Dimsmore's ass. And here's the other thing too. I told your son to kick rocks because you put your son against me. And the funny part is that your son was there watching me beat your ass. He was having carrot sticks and he saw me decimate his father. You deserve that. Don't paint me as the villain. You're the villain. You wanted to pick on an old man and the old man still got a lot left in the tank and you caught hands. So that I say that to say this. You caught hands, you go to the back of the line. Anybody else want these motherfucking hands, you let me know. And you can get this work. That goes for you dirty ass Rex. That goes for Jacob Trance and Tommy Fat Ass Archer. That goes for B17 and his lack of pantalones. That goes for fucking G2 Quartz and fucking even you want some, Nate? You can get it too, Nate. I'll hit you in the face, man. Everybody can get it. And Sean McGee, you gonna catch it too. Wrestlution, you gonna get your ass whooped. You be mad about that too, goddammit. Son of a bitches. Okay. Alright, that's enough of that shit. Okay. I think it was. I think it was a Rogue. I think it was a Rogue role play where I was like, oh, he didn't even mention the show. Actually, no, was it Rogue? Which one was the one that got me mad? I don't know. I don't remember. Sorry, it's been a minute. The Jago role play, that was fun. Where the fuck is it? Bobby Minio, no matches. The unsanctioned match. What I find funny is this young man just shows up to the Twitch stream to watch my match and his match, and then we get like a surge of Twitch viewers, which is hilarious. And then as soon as his match is gone, the surge slowly goes back down to normal. You ain't slick. Anyway, this match was not specifically by the book, which is why I wrote in capital letters and stuff. You know, it's not by the book, so suck a dick. Because, you know, what are you gonna do? Really ain't got nothing else to say about that, other than I wanted spots to be hit. They got hit. I popped for the spider special. I don't remember if he got a hoop strike. Maybe he did. Pop for the both super freshing elbows. A really fucking fun match. It kind of reminded me of Gargano Ciampa diet form. Really good. And in the end, Spider, because he's a fucking sissy, goes lets his friend go over. You fucking coward. You fucking coward. Ugh. Anyway, whatever. What are you gonna do, right? I'm mad. I'm looking at the commentary. I actually left polling blank. Whoops. Getting too old for this shit. Okay, where we at now? Almost wrapping it up. And then we'll be done. Bobby Mini H2O. First impression, didn't like it. I thought the first was better. And that's because when I do a show, let me just digress real quick, and I'm gonna try to wrap it up. I'm not gonna try to keep you guys here forever because I got shit to do. I want to play some Monster Hunter and fucking take some back pain medication because my shit hurts. And I'm old as fuck. Ooh, feedback noise. That's interesting. I wonder where that's from. Anyway, so the process of me doing the pay-per-views and the shows are kind of as follows. I put down the framework, right? And then I kind of list where everything has to go. And then I'll put the role plays where they go according to the instructions I was given and the show format and you know, whatever. Give them a quick skim. But I put them where they need to go. And that's the first pass. The second pass is I actually read the content and digest the content and then write my comments accordingly. I try to keep them vague, but I also try to show that I've read it. So what are you gonna do with the Bobby H2O? And then in addition, while I'm doing that, I also kind of skim the matches. So I'll go like the first 2 minutes, the first 5 minutes, the first 6 minutes, then the middle half, then I'll go towards the last 6 or 7 or 5 minutes depending. So when I did it that way, I didn't like the Bobby H2O match from the jump. I wasn't a fan of it. And I'm getting a little feedback noise, so I'm gonna have to get a new fucking XLR cable. Fantastic. Another purchase I'm not prepared for. Anyway. So on the first pass, I was like, oh man, the first match is better because it had more I guess action or whatever. When you rewatch that match, the Bobby H2O match, it's actually I would think it's better than the first match, just for the simple fact that Bobby comes back, makes that comeback, and it's a pretty dramatic comeback. So I like what these two are doing, and right now they're 1-1. So if we're gonna see something in the future, hint, 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 I would say out of this would get a 4.5 out of 5. I didn't rate everybody, I'm just rating this one because these last two or these last set are really good. So shout out to Bobby and H2O for that. That was fucking dope, and I look forward to seeing what happens at the end, especially given how H2O has embraced being a dickhead, which is fun to see. Drago Mugen Saga, this is like number 4, probably number like 8 if we go on by the actual count. I want to say it's good seeing both of them in action beat Drago Club in full effect. I really don't know what to add, man. This is basically par for the course. This is what I'm talking about with Riot guys who are not particularly fans of the game but can still be entertaining and provide a competitive match. So there really isn't anything to add to this. This is a 4.5, easy. Cobra and his electronic shit. Yeah, B17 the captain. I'm not really doing role play stuff. Sorry. Y'all can do that at the discussion, which we really need some discussion on this, please, guys. Like, you know, it kind of, while we had a wonderful turnout with the Twitch stream and, you know, all the support or whatever, I do want to see that discussion. I really do. There's people who pop mad shit, but that can't put like 2 words together for the discussion. Cut it out. The Malou B17 finds the road to gold. Almost done. I like this match for a simple fact that not only was it short, but it was basically hit for hit, clip for clip. No. Hit for hit, tit for tat, right down to the end. Like, I don't really know. Like, I don't have to elaborate on this all that much for the simple fact that it is what it is. It reminded me a lot of Mez versus Tobin from, I believe it was Chill Factor pre-show main event, just beating the shit out of each other. And yeah, a testament to both people involved. It's just fucking knockdown, drag out, and you know, you got your winner. Congratulations, B17, which will be fighting at Turmoil 200, which I'll get into a little bit. And then the main event, man. I said it before, I'll say it again. This match is bittersweet for the simple fact that I know Dupree hates the game, you know, on a fundamental level. And guys like Parker hate the game on a fundamental level. But the difference between Parker and Dupree is Dupree can still go. I don't know if Parker can, because the last time Parker's been back, it's been kind of like iffy on the sticks. He's playing Sea of Thieves, and you know, more power to you. But you'd rather play an empty Sea of Thieves game than a buggy WWE game. So you know, you're fucked either way. Shout out to that. Actually, I should probably try Sea of Thieves again, see if they added some shit. But yeah, man, this match is, I'm probably gonna say, top 10, top 5 of all time. And I know some of y'all like, oh, well, it's because it's Nate. Nah, not really. It's because it was done. It was a couple things. First of all, it was done first try. No redos, Bubba. First try. And because of the people involved just kind of went for it. And I know at one point I was like, oh man, he should have. Nah, main event. I don't give a fuck. The match, like when we were in the viewing party, people were shouting things like, you know, was it Sean Brett, Taker Sean, you know, shit like that. Like it was a really good match. And the podcast that you listen to now, I'm going to post this match. You're going to see the match over. You know, if you haven't, if you haven't, you should. If you're a rookie, you should watch this match and learn a thing or two. That's not to say that you should kick out of 90 finishers at as a rookie. But it's really a really good example of what OCW is about, and just having the privilege of actually seeing this on just this is what made Riot 500 special to me, honestly. Because here's the fun fact that you didn't know about, a little backstage info. Originally, we were supposed to have what's called Knights of the Hall, which was Nate Ortiz versus Paul Pugh versus Parker versus Dupree. That was the original match, 4-way. And that's what we were all pumped for. But, you know, that's not how things work out. And on Parker's end, I didn't want to bother Parker. Because if you're not happy, I'm not going to force you, you know, to do something you don't want to do. So just, you know, his obligation is Lucian, and we'll get that. But I'm not going to force people to do what they don't want to do. It doesn't matter. I don't force the grind. I don't force people to do shit. You do what you want to do. If you don't want to do something, that's fine. Just do your obligation. And we're good. And Paul, or Pugh rather, you know, he was on his way out and he did not want to compete, which I can respect totally. You know, it's his prerogative. So since it wasn't announced, it's not, you know, wasn't any loss. But deep down, I was a little bummed out, and so was the Booker man. But it is what it is. OCW is no one man. So, and I also say that on Pugh's end, you know, there was things that occurred that he wasn't happy with, and you know, it is what it is. So it's not like to say that it's his fault, because it's not. So the end result is Dupree versus Nate Ortiz, and it's funny how they worked out, because of these circumstances, we get this match, which far exceeded anyone's expectation. This is held up with with stuff like Leon Parker at Lucian. Was it 7 or 8? I don't remember. Sorry. This is up there with the Pew Leon match rather. It's funny because a lot of the really best matches are usually with the same kind of people, like a Parker, a Pew, a Dupree, a Leon. But yeah, like another match that was really amazing was the Leon Parker match. The Leon Pew match, which took place impromptu on a live show, which was all kinds of fucking amazing. That's another match that I hold up there that I wish someone had the wherewithal to save that match. It's gone, but it was amazing. But thankfully we have this one. And so I want to thank Dupree and I want to thank Nate Ortiz because this is what made Riot 500 fucking special to me, despite all this fucking work. So thank you guys, and thank everybody who participated from PS4 and from Xbox, everywhere in between. Thank you so much for that. So yeah, discuss the fucking show. Cut the bullshit. All right, guys, you gotta meet me halfway. Now then, we got Turmoil 199. Oh, that's not a sigh. That's not a sigh of disappointment, by the way. That's just a sigh because it's a lot. I'm not trying to like what's the word? Glance over it at all. Without going into too many words and without going, fuck it. How do I phrase this? All right, Jay Fury Loki, that's fine. The RP had to be fixed a little bit because, Loki's calling out a guy as he's in the crowd, but the guy is fucking dressed in wrestling gear, so it's a little ridiculous. I have to fix that. Not a big deal. The Capo Jack match, I dug it. I thought it might have been a little too long, but actually it was kind of cool. It was funny because Capo, in my opinion, I was counting. I'm like, yo, Cap's on 2. If he eats a third, it's over. It's over hood. And I don't think he would have kicked out of the third, because he knows better. But he was still kind of the underdog in that match. Jack was on fire, and I kind of like that whole gimmick we were talking about, like the Mighty Mouse dude. But when he got popped with the fucking knuckles and his leg got all funny on the rope, I almost farted. It was so funny. So that's a good match, and those guys are actually kind of evenly matched. So if they wind up working down the line, that's gonna be cool. The 3 standouts, role play wise. And again, that's not to discount anybody else, so please don't fucking, he didn't mention me. Stop it. The standout Rex and Jim, just because I'm not gonna say I've never been a fan of Rex. Rex has always kind of been like in the background, so to speak, but he's slowly coming into his own in that respect. And the whole exchange with Jim, you can feel the history, and it's fucking really dope to watch, especially the shit with the phone. Where he's like, he's trying to do his calculations, and he takes Jim's phone and he's like, you should put a password on this. Like, I don't know why you don't put a password on this. And basically he does the calculations, not really, and then he takes his phone. Can I get a phone back? No, you can't. He just puts it in his pocket, and then, I don't know why. I just find it to be really fucking funny to me. Then we have the contract signing where Austin's gone full dickhead, judging up the past of B17. He doesn't wear his pants. He does not game wearing clothes. He likes to be naked like a hoe. Doesn't even lock his door. He's gonna get raped by midgets. Anyway, so yeah, what you got, what you came for. You got to build up to Turmoil 200. I don't really know how else to say. It kind of got to the point where they got the meat and the potatoes. The Invictus implosion. It's kind of funny how the 2 guys picked to, the first time are actually fighting again. That's a good story. If someone wants to take that footage and show the build up to 200, there you go. A nice little story to tell. It's kind of nice because if we didn't have what happened, we wouldn't have this. So I remember the talks when we removed the AIDS was that I wanted Turmoil to have a main event of more than one person. And right now it has that main event scene. You got Rex, you got Malou, you got B17, you got Austin, you got Trance. And then you can add whoever else to move up or down as needed. So, yeah, I did it. And I love the fact that we ain't even skip a fucking beat. 1 week, all right, maybe. Right now, full steam ahead, 200. Probably all of you. You should all kind of salute yourselves as well for putting that work and moving forward. Congratulations, y'all earned it. But me personally, and we'll close on this, the standout moment is the role play with Valkyrie and Cheryl Sticks. I don't know if it's because the show was very, to the point. Even with, like, it wasn't a small show by any means, because it took me about 2-3 hours to get everything together, maybe 4 on a Sunday. Didn't plan for that. But the simple fact that I don't know, it was easy to digest. And again, that's not to discredit anybody else. Ooh, got a little bit of gas. It's not to discredit anybody else on the show, because there's like a lot to go over with the show. I was cherry picking. I kind of dig the whole Jess being like, hey man, you don't talk about me, buddy. Fuck wrong with you? I mean, that's how you start a feud. But again, the standout is the Styx Cheryl roleplay. I'm sorry, the Styx Valkyrie roleplay. And I think everyone can kind of agree with that, for the simple fact that it was a little bit long, but it told a wonderful story, and it did it in such a way that you're invested. Now this is the fucked up part. Now I'm invested in this match, and I want to see this match, which is what you want. That's what you want, because you have on one hand, you have like the like, I'm gonna do things the right way. I'm not like a famous whatever Valkyrie, new blood. Then you got the Vegas superstar Cheryl Sticks on the other end. Everyone likes, oh, she's hot, all this, all that. She's the fucking superstar, number one, big boss woman, yada yada yada. And you got Valk on the other end. And then you got the fact that Valk keeps getting jumped by Show Blitz. You have an underdog. You got a face. You have a sympathetic face. And then you have a convincing heel. This is what y'all don't get. A lot of y'all don't get that, though. A lot of you always try to do this fucking... Speaking of which, I'm so... And again, I'm not trying to be like, oh... But I'm so fucking sick of demonic, dark, tattoo, white guy gimmick. Enough. Just stop. Everybody looked the same. Just all tattooed up and... I mean, I went through the discrepancy differences on the forum. You can check that. And I'm not trying to tell you like, oh, but it's just like, enough. You gotta just, enough. I'm over it. Like, I'm saying that because I've seen it so many times that it's never really done well. So you just gotta, you gotta modify a little bit. And I'm not talking about any one person. I just mean like, well, no, in the sense of Butcher Barnett. That entrance, no. You want to use it for a pay-per-view or like a special show, a special event? Cool. You want to use it on a show every week? It loses the luster. It loses the uniqueness, the mystery, the majesty, all that shit. It just, you can't. You gotta. And again, it's like I'm sick of demonic tattoo white guy, son. I'm just. Like, it does nothing for me. Like, I know y'all like Aleister Black and stuff. That's great, cool, whatever. CM Heath Slater, good. Knock yourself out. But it's like, I'm over it. Like, at least put some spin on it. As I went through the breakdown, like, from everybody from Rex to Jack Mo, like, at least there's some spins on it. Like, Jack Mo has PTSD. He didn't always look like that. He was made like that. I mean, he was turned into that, and he has PTSD. He normally came in one way, now he's another. So there's an actual arc to that. Rex has pretty much always been a dirty, degenerate son of a bitch. Valmont didn't used to look like that. He used to be kind of clean cut, like Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar. Now he looks like some kind of weird, fucking thrown together car. I'm not a big fan. Like, just a little bit of I don't know, a little creativity, a little something. Just I'm so sick of fucking just the demonic white dude, tattooed white dude. Just fix it. But yeah, the point I'm making is basically, oh, and also that match was too long. Like, I'll say the one thing: the fact that the loss was cleared up with Insanity, I'm cool with that. That's fine. Do that, because the problem is if you can't be big bad, domination dude, and then take a beating from a little doughy guy with leg kicks. I mean, you can't. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. People forget immediately. No one gives a fuck in the grand scheme of things. So I wouldn't even be worried about that. And it's just about how you sell the loss, and for that you get like 10 points. Definitely not a problem. I don't know. I don't like the car at all. I don't like the direction, anything. Gotta fix it. Figure something out. But yeah, the reason I'm saying that is because the match is too long. Like I said, the reason I'm saying that is because when we have Cheryl and Valkyrie, we have the very basics of a wrestling feud, and it's so dope to see. We have the underdog who's outnumbered and outgunned, and then we got the it girl with her crew as the heels. Like, you can't, like, it's perfect wrestling 101. I want to see this match. Now here's the problem with OCW. We are on our story fed. So now it is up to the handlers to handle shit. So Sticks is good. I would say, like, if you have low, medium, high, Sticks is medium at the very minimum at the game. Valk might be low to medium, which means I don't know if it's gonna work in Valk's favor. I'm hoping it does, but if it doesn't, then you have more story. And maybe, if Valk overcomes the odds, that's something for that's good, because then you have Cheryl trying to get revenge. But if Valk gets handled, we got to see what we can do. They got to see what we can do. Maybe it can be a redemption angle. Who the hell knows? But the bottom line is, if the goal is to get people to be invested in the match, and y'all two did it. Number 1, not a problem. So congratulations to that. Now again, I should clarify, because again, sometimes people don't understand that that's not to say that anybody else on the card, didn't get me invested. There's some matches I want to see, some matches I'm not too sure about, but we'll see what happens when the actual matches take place. And that's up to you guys. And we'll talk about that in the coming weeks, because we're about done. I'm tired of this shit right now. I'm gonna go relax now. So I hope I covered some stuff, and if you haven't, please check out the championship, the CCW championship voting. If you haven't, take a look at that. It's on the website. You find the link and do what you gotta do. Top 3 will be given to the champion. Champion choose what he wants, and he'll debut it at Turmoil 200 next May 4th, which I'll be putting together as well. The card for Turmoil 200 is out unofficially. I'll try to get it out officially within the next day or so, but you guys know what you have to do. If you have any questions, you feel free to hit me up, and that's pretty much where we're at. So in the words of the immortal Jim Cornette, thank you, F you, goodbye, my friends.